were not satisfied, were therefore not satisfied that you satisfied this attribute. New line 2. Notwithstanding the comments above, reviewers were satisfied that you had ensured the work on the bridge was carefully and diligently carried out, with proper corrosion protection of the exposed reinforcement, application of the appropriate repair mortar, and the painted finish, and that the completed repair was appropriately checked and snagged before being put back into service. Open brackets, for which you received a commendation. Close brackets, stop. 9. Management and leadership. You explained that you were a senior member of the Caerphilly Council's Bridge Inspection and Assessment Team, reporting to the project manager, with a graduate and student engineer reporting to you, You seem to have a close and agreeable relationship with all of these, Your manager allowed you a great deal of freedom in how you managed and allocated the work to yourself and to those reporting to you. Independent judgment and responsibility. Likewise, you were given a great deal of responsibility in the manner in which you carried out your design, your inspection, assessment, design and supervision responsibilities. However, notwithstanding this, the method statements for the repair of the Pandy River Bridge should have perhaps addressed some of the issues described in 1. Knowledge and understanding of engineering above, and that the checkers of the design and the specification for works documentation should have carried out for this. However, reviewers were satisfied that you met the requirements of this attribute. 5. Commercial ability. You were knowledgeable in the documentation and the procedures that needed to be followed in the initiation and carrying out of the repair works, seeking and gaining the approval both of the environmental authority, gained the necessary approvals, prepared appropriate bills of quantities, and managed variations in the scope of the works when the true extent of the damage to the bridge had been determined in the course of the works. Stop. Reviewers were satisfied that you satisfied this attribute. Health, safety and welfare. You seemed, in the course of the interview, you seemed at first to be very serious and conscientious about health and safety, and engendered a good attitude in your contractors, in contractors and your work staff conducting both general instructions to your force, to your own people who were supervising the works, and the contractors' people. However, when questioned as to what you would do if you observed unsafe working or inappropriate PPE, you rather jocularly remarked that the contractors' operatives not wearing their helmets or gloves to make sure that you were not, what they did when you weren't there was their business, but when you were there, you wanted to see them wearing and properly using the appropriate PPE. Reviewers were not while they were satisfied that you were aware of what the regulations and conventions that were required on health and safety and welfare at work with this remark, and felt that it did not show an appropriate sincere understanding of health and safety, which was that people should not only do it when the supervisors are present, but actually should be concerned about safety at all times, even when unsupervised, and felt that your remark displayed perhaps a weakness in this respect. As a result, they were not satisfied that you satisfied this attribute. Stop. New line, sustainable development. In the nature of the work that you do, that is, the inspection, assessment, and keeping in service assets which might at other times be replaced, you are clearly involved in a part of the civil engineering industry which is actively supports sustainable development. Moreover, you consulted the relevant authorities on issues such as constricting the flow of water underneath the bridge while the repairs were being carried out, measures to avoid polluting the river from spillage from the works by ensuring that the platforms on which the men were working under the bridge were covered in sheeting, and made sure that the contractor was aware of yours and the environmental agency's concerns over such issues. Stop. Reviewers were satisfied that you met the requirements of this attribute. Interpersonal skills and communication. Your report was well written, to the point, and succinct. You put over your ideas and plans competently and with confidence, and clearly are able to do so in the course of your work, as attested by your manager and your relationships with other professionals, both in the public and in the official areas. And you said that you had not encountered any discrimination, either by nature of your gender or your ethnic origin, and if you could not deal with, and if were you to encounter such issues, you would try and deal with it yourself. Otherwise, you would make sure it was reported to the appropriate authorities.